Says President Trump met with his national security team after Iran made a new proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz if the United States ends the naval blockade of its ports. The proposal would also table nuclear talks, punt it. It comes after the president called off negotiations in Pakistan over the weekend. We're going to bring in retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Bernie Flowers. Nice to see you today. Did Iran really think the United States would take them up on this offer?
Anna, of course they're going to try. We don't have to fall for it, but of course they're going to try. I would do the same thing, but the president is resolute in his thinking. We're in the business of stopping them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. That is the primary goal. And the Iranians can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. But I believe that the president will keep us in the Middle East and keep us blocking the Strait of Hormuz until they give in. And we have all the leverage.
There's an explosive editorial piece in The Atlantic today. The title, if we can put it up, "The Pentagon may not be telling Trump the full picture about the war. Vice President J.D. Vance is worried that the U.S. is running low on weapons." With what you know and what your sources are saying and the contacts that you still have in the military, what do you make of this headline?
Well, everybody in the media is not necessarily on our side. And with my background, I know that we have what we call an arsenal of democracy, and there's all kinds of opportunity to manufacture things that we need for the military. So I really don't worry about that sort of thing. What we need will magically appear.
And, we often hear the Secretary of War in particular echo a lot of the same talking points from President Trump, that it's actually manufacturing stories that the media is doing, accusing the media of inventing stories. Or is that what you think we would hear in response from the Secretary of War to this, or what?
Well, I'm not exactly sure where the disconnect is between the Secretary of War and President. I haven't heard that, still a little early in the morning, but I can tell you from many, many years of DOD experience, 34 years, that we have a great manufacturing capability, and we also have a press that is in opposition to the president. So they'll say anything to sell newspapers and get clicks.
Well, very often The Atlantic does not say the best things about the president. They've had a fraught relationship, to say the least, in the past. Also happening this week, Iran's foreign minister meeting with Putin on Monday, and the Russian leader pledging support to Iran. What do you make of this collaboration and coordination? How much of a risk is this to the United States? Should we be worried about this, or is this expected anyway?
Oh, this is just Putin running off at the mouth. They're allies. They support each other. They trade together. They supply each other with material. So naturally, anything that's good for them is bad for us, and anything that's good for us is bad for them. So there's a balance there, but anything that comes out of Putin's mouth needs to be looked at with a grain of salt.
All right. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Colonel Bernie Flowers. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Anna.